wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are. Anyone you'd like to hear will come to you. Hey there! We're here to explore some car characters. Movies 1 through 3. Are you ready? Then here we go. Ka-chow! We start with Lightning McQueen. With 7 Piston Cup wins and a passion for motorsports, Lightning McQueen has earned the reputation of a world champion. Lightning used to think that winning was everything. He was arrogant and obnoxious, with no regard for anyone else's feelings. But his time in Radiator Springs has taught him what's really important, like true friends. Lightning values time with his girlfriend Sally and his friends in Radiator Springs. He learned most of what he knows about racing from the late, great Doc Hudson. And he's looking forward to passing this knowledge on as he enters the next phase of his career.
Did you know that?
Lightning's race number was originally going to be 57 as a reference to John Lasseter's birth year, but the filmmakers decided to change it to 95. And he is named after deceased Pixar supervising animator Glenn McQueen. And Lightning originally did not think he needed headlights because racers always race in lit stadiums.
Now you know.
This is Mac. If there is one vehicle that has been with Lightning McQueen since nearly the very beginning, it's Mac. Although he's technically a race transporter, Mac is so much more than just a part of Team McQueen. Mac is McQueen's confidant, his good friend, and his sounding board. He's always reliable, always there, and always ready to roll, whether it's getting McQueen to the Piston Cup Championship or transporting him all the way to the Florida 500. Meet Mater. Mater's a good old car with a big heart. He runs Tow Mater Towing and Salvage and manages the local impound lot. Though a little rusty, he has the quickest tow rope in Carburetor County and is always the first to lend a helping hook. Mater doesn't have a mean bolt on his chassis. He sees the bright side of any situation. Radiator Springs just wouldn't be the same without him. Although Mater sometimes seems a bit dim-witted, he knows everything there is to know about cars, engines, and towing, and often finds himself offering surprisingly wise advice to his friends. Mater's not only Lightning McQueen's best friend, but also his biggest fan. Even when Lightning is on the road, Mater is always only a phone call away. That is, when he isn't in the pit helping out his buddy. This is Luigi. No, not the Luigi I'm thinking of, as in Mario's brother. This Luigi. Luigi runs Luigi's Casa della Tires, the local tire shop in Radiator Springs. If you're going to drive through this world, why not look good doing it? That's Luigi's motto. Cars may not get to choose their make and model, but they all have a choice when it comes to the tires they wear. Luigi offers the finest selection west of the Mississippi. Luigi's Casa della Tires is known far and wide for impeccable service, a wide range of white walls, and of course, its very stylish owner. He now travels with Guido and Lightning McQueen during the racing season and helps Lightning with all his tire needs. This is Guido. Besides being part of Luigi's Casa della Tires, Guido dreamed of being part of a pit crew for a real race car, a dream that came true when he became part of Lightning McQueen's crew. He and Luigi were there every mile of the journey to help Lightning prepare for the Florida 500. One of these days, Guido hopes to set a new world record for the fastest pit stop turnaround of all time. Meet Doc Hudson. Doc Hudson, the fabulous Hudson Hornet, was a car of few words, but many talents. With his crew chief and sponsor, Smokey, Hud, his nickname during his legendary racing days, won 3 Piston Cups and held the record of most wins in a single season. Later, he not only served as Radiator Springs' judge, but also as the resident doctor. Doc was respected and admired by the townsfolk for the way he looked after them. It wasn't until a hotshot rookie racer named Lightning McQueen roared into town that the other side of the old judge was revealed. Despite a rocky start, Doc and Lightning became great friends and an unstoppable racing team.
Did you know that?
His license plate is 51HHMD, which is a reference to his year and track number 51, model, Hudson Hornet, and profession, medical doctor. Doc started racing in the Piston Cup Series in 1951, and a blue Hudson Hornet can be seen in The Incredibles. Even though Cars was released after The Incredibles, development of the film was already well underway.
Now you know.
That's Fillmore. Fillmore is Radiator Springs' resident hippie, a believer in individuality and all things natural. He brews his own organic fuel and preaches about its many benefits. Visitors can try Fillmore's special flavors in the tasting room behind his love bead and tie-dye covered geodesic dome. His many conspiracy theories and naturally unkempt yard drive his neighbor Sarge absolutely crazy. Speaking of Sarge, here he is. Sarge loves to tell stories about his daring fearlessness in the military. One time, a tank friend of his lost a belt in the Battle of the Bulge, and Sarge towed him to safety. For his bravery, Sarge received the Grill Badge of True Metal. This and medals like it are displayed front and center at Sarge's surplus hut, right next to Sarge's very own Mother Road survival kit. He guarantees that if you break down, his kit will get you through the night, or the next World War. Even better, it all stows nicely in your trunk. Meet Flo. Flo first arrived in Radiator Springs as a touring Motorama girl in the 1950s. She was headed west with a group of models when her chaperone had fuel pump problems just outside of town. Flo and the other show car girls spent an unforgettable night in Radiator Springs. While she was there, Flo's paint got scratched, but when she went to Ramon for a paint job, he refused to give her one. It wasn't because he was too good to paint her, but because she was too good to be painted. When the girls left, Flo stayed. She and Ramon have been together ever since. Flo runs Flo's V8 Cafe, the only traditional gas station for miles around. Now here is Ramon. A true artist isn't afraid to take chances, to explore new ways to express himself, or to push the limits of culture. Ramon believes that the automotive body can be a vehicle of expression. Every day gives him an opportunity to explore new paint jobs and to push the limitless boundaries of his art. Ramon is the proud owner of Ramon's House of Body Art, located right across the street from Flo's V8 Cafe. This is Sally. Sally is the heart and soul of Radiator Springs. She used to be a high-powered attorney in Los Angeles, but grew tired of her hectic life and decided to find something more peaceful. These days, Sally serves as a local attorney. She also owns and runs the Cozy Cone Motel and Wheelwagon Motel. In spite of her busy schedule, she still finds time to check in on everybody in Radiator Springs and see her boyfriend Lightning McQueen.
Did you know that?
Sally is a 2002 Porsche 911 Carrera. Her top speed is 177 miles per hour and was originally going to be a Mustang. She was later changed to a Porsche since the grille looked more feminine.
Now you know.
Here's Lizzie. When Lizzie rolled into Radiator Springs, it was love at first sight, love for the town itself and for Stanley, the town's founder. But she kept Stanley on the soft shoulder for months. Then one day, Lizzie realized that Stanley's vision for a new oasis in the desert had become her dream too. From that day on, they became the heart and soul of the town, and a couple who were never apart. Lizzie runs the local curio shop. She's a kind, grandmotherly woman who loves to talk, although she often has a hard time remembering things. This is Red. Red may not be a fire truck of many words, but what he doesn't say he shows through his generous actions. Whether it's putting out a tire fire or caring for the beautiful flowers in Radiator Springs. Red is there to support and protect his beloved town. Red takes negative comments about his town very personally. So if you have something bad to say about Radiator Springs, you better watch out, because if there's one thing Red is not afraid of, it's his emotions. Here's the sheriff. There's a long history of law enforcement in Sheriff's family. His father was a traffic cop, and so were his aunt, his uncle, his 2 cousins on his mother's side, and his little brother. Even his grandfather was a traffic cop in New York around the turn of the century. Sheriff is no nonsense by the book type of car. He can't stand lawbreakers and will happily ticket those who don't abide by the laws of Radiator Springs. There's Bessie. Bessie is Radiator Springs' resident road paving machine. Everyone agrees she's a low-maintenance gal, but more than one unsuspecting hitcher has learned her quirks the hard way. Doc likes to say laying asphalt with Bessie is more like dancing than paving. Fill her with kerosene, gravel, and tar, and she'll produce the most beautiful ribbon of blacktop you'll ever laid rubber on. But you don't want to pull her too fast or get her steamed up. Bessie carries 2 huge buckets of molten tar, and she knows how to use them. Just ask Lightning McQueen. There's Chick Hicks. Chick Hicks is a racing veteran with a chip on his shoulder. He cheated his way into more second-place finishes than any other car. Rude and arrogant, he was always sure he was the best racer out there and was willing to go to any length to prove it. No trick was too underhandled for Chick. These days, Chick has retired from Piston Cup racing and signed on to the Racing Sports Network to host his own show. Instead of cutting down opponents on the track, he cuts them down verbally on his cable-run sports show, Chick's Picks with Chick Hicks. If you want the no-holds-barred commentary, Chick is your car. Now here's Strip Weathers, or the King. From his humble beginnings on the Piston Cup circuit to the glitzy sponsorship and media attention, Strip Weathers, also known as the King, has seen it all. This racing champion won 7 Piston Cups. Unlike his competitors, he raced honestly. Cheating never would have occurred to him. His career ended in a crash at a Piston Cup championship, and truth be told, the King is enjoying his retirement. He loves spending more time with his queen, Mrs. the King. I think it would be better if it was Mrs. the Queen. Meet Dusty Rusty's. Dusty and his brother Rusty are the owners of Rusty's Medicated Bumper Ointment and the proud 10-year sponsors of racing superstar Lightning McQueen. They had believed in the racer ever since he was a rookie phenomenon. When the next-gen racers come along, Dusty and Rusty stick by McQueen's side and encourage him to keep following his dreams. And there's Rusty Rusty's. Rusty and his brother Dusty are the kings of Rusty's, and they will do whatever it takes to make sure that Lightning McQueen has the tools he needs to be successful on the racetrack, even if it means releasing Lightning so he can pursue his dreams. Time to advance. Francesco Bernoulli. Francesco grew up in the shadow of the famous Monza racecourse in Italy, where he and his friends would sneak onto the track and race the famous Pista di Alta Velocita bank turn. He was an instant winner on the amateur circuit and soon became an international Formula Racer champion. The ladies love Francesco's open wheels, youngsters admire his winning spirit, and fellow racers envy his speed. But Francesco's biggest fan is, well, himself, as evidenced by his racing number.
Did you know that?
Francesco's top speed is 220 miles per hour. On Francesco's side is a logo presenting the letters FR in a design similar to the F1 logo. It is the abbreviation of Formula Racer, his racing league. And Francesco prefers to speak about himself in third person. He's just that important.
Now you know.
Meet Carla Veloso. Carla hails from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The sweet but powerful Latin diva can dance the night away at Carnival, but she spends most of her time on the racetrack. After setting a new track record at the local Interlagos circuit, she was drafted to join the 24-hour endurance racing team in Europe, where she posted a consistent series of podium finishes. Carla is one of the few female racers and is out to prove that she can keep up with the guys. Meet Shu Todoraki. Shu Todoraki is a lay motor prototype racer. He was raised at the base of the active Mount Asama volcano in Japan and soon became a champion on the Suzuka circuit. His sleek design sports a fiery red Kairyu dragon, which Shu borrowed from Japanese legend because he relates to its quiet yet fierce nature. His team legacy is filled with victories. His coach was the only Japanese car to ever win at Le Mans. Meet Raoul Carroul. Known as the world's greatest rally car, number 6 Raoul Carroul was born in Alsace, France. A restless soul, Raoul joined the famous Cirque de Voiture French circus, where he studied gymkhana, a graceful, drift-filled motorsport that taught him pinpoint timing and an unparalleled ability to navigate tricky courses with ease. He was the first car to ever win 9 consecutive rallies. This is Jeff Gorvette. Jeff Gorvette is one of the greatest race cars alive. His ability to succeed on the big ovals as well as on the road courses has made him respected around the world. Having moved from his hometown of Vallejo, California, to Indiana to be closer to the racing world, Gorvette's ability to succeed at all levels at such a young age has turned hoods wherever he competes. His Rookie of the Year awards and top of number 10 finishes are unmatched. Say hello to Nigel Gearsley. Nigel Gearsley from Warwickshire, England, is an Aston Martin DBR9 racer, bearing number 9. He got his start racing the Speed Hill Climb, a unique, completely uphill race that his family has run for generations through the Aston Hill mountain area. Nigel's racing career has been anything but an uphill challenge, and he's won nearly every start in the past few years on the ground touring sports car circuit, including a string of podiums at Nürburgring and Le Mans. This is Max Schnell. Max Schnell started as a humble production student from Stuttgart. An avid amateur racer, Max would practice alone on the back roads of the dense Black Forest, a trek that one day caught the eye of a racing team owner. Soon Max was on a professional circuit, and as his horsepower increased, he converted himself to carbon fiber, dropping his weight and getting into prime racing shape. He's won more races at Morterheimring than any other World Touring Champion League car in history. A naturally brilliant engineer, he used logic and analytics to refine his build, making him a perfectly calibrated race car. This is Miguel Camino. Spain's most famous, admired, and lusted over car is Pamplona's Miguel Camino. The GT2 caught the eye of the entire country while participating in the running of the bulldozers. Initially, he was just a fan, but he soon found himself in the ring with the dozers. His flair, style, and speed as a toreador inspired a generation of young bulldozer fighters, and soon that same speed and flair turned heads on the racing circuit. Open and funny, Miguel is the life of any party. That's Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, the famously sleek and seriously fast number 2 Grand Touring Sports champion, has been a determined and winning racer for most of his young life. Lewis spent his childhood going to school, taking karate lessons, and winning the British karting championship by the age of 10. He continues to bring an exceptional work ethic and soft-spoken confidence to the race course, where his extraordinary achievements speak for themselves via a spotless track record on the junior and professional circuits. He carries the flag of Grenada, home to his family, who immigrated to Britain in the 1950s. His unrivaled technical skills, natural speed, and cool karate-inspired attitude make him a powerful contender. Meet Uncle Topolino. In the small village of Santa Rutina near Porto Corsa, Italy, Luigi's favorite uncle, Topolino, lives with his beloved wife, Mama Topolino. Uncle Topolino is the owner of the village's tire shop. He taught Luigi and Guido everything they know, though Uncle Topolino is full of sage advice about more than just tires. There's Mama Topolino. To all who know her, Luigi's aunt, Mama Topolino, is a masterful cook with the best fuel in the village of Santa Rutina. She has a loving but fiery relationship with her husband, Uncle Topolino, and she shows her love and generosity for both family and friends by feeding everyone her renowned delicioso fuel. Say hi to Cruz Ramirez. Cruz Ramirez is a top-notch trainer at the Rusty's Racing Center, where she's assigned to train the team's talented rookies. Her unconventional training methods have helped many young Piston Cup racers meet their goals on the track. Cruz once had racing dreams of her own, but it isn't until she meets Lightning McQueen that she realizes her passion to compete is still there. Now she'll finally get the chance to see if she's got what it takes to win.
Did you know that?
Cruz's nickname is the Maestro of Motivation.
Now you know.
Meet Chase Racelot. Next generation Piston Cup racer Chase Racelot knows what it takes to win and was racing long before he even set tire on a professional speedway. Like his fellow rookies, Chase knows how to push toward the front by combining his skills, track smarts, and top-of-the-line technology. There's Jackson Storm. Cocky and sure of himself, Jackson Storm is a young Piston Cup rookie with his eyes focused solely on the championship. Coming out of nowhere in the racing world, Storm trained primarily on high-tech simulators. He displayed refined technique, but little practical wisdom on the track. Winning has come all too easy to Storm, so he's unable to fathom defeat yet. His overconfidence may be his ultimate downfall.
Did you know that?
Jackson Storm won 10 races in a row before winning his first Piston Cup. And he beat a racing record when he reached 213 miles per hour in a practice lap.
Now you know.
Meet Danny Suarez. Danny Suarez is a young racer who rose up against all odds to quickly climb the Piston Cup ladder. He is focused, eager to learn, and set on pushing himself to overcome obstacles both on and off the track. Danny is new to the racing scene, but is a quick learner who strives to be the very best. He came in halfway through the racing session to take the place of Bobby Swift. Meet Louise Barnstormer Nash. Louise Barnstormer Nash was known as the First Lady of Racing. In the early days of the Piston Cup, she won 3 races in a row in her first season against Doc Hudson. As one of the first and only females in racing at the time, it wasn't an easy road for Louise. She had to steal her racing number to get her first chance on the track, but Louise's fearless driving style soon won her the respect of every car she raced. Sassy and fun-loving, she still enjoys kicking off her hubcaps and racing at top speed. There's Junior Midnight Moon. Long before official stock hard tracks existed, souped-up jalopies raced for fun on wooded back roads with only the moon to light their way. That's where Junior Moon got his start and his name. Junior raced by his own rules. Hud and all the other early Piston Cup competitors truly loved to race with him. We have Smokey. Smokey is a Piston Cup team owner, a crew chief, and the best dang mechanic in town. He also helped put Thomasville and a rookie racer known as the Fabulous Hudson Hornet on the map back in the 1950s. Smokey is known for his crafty tactics at the track, and the tales about his racing ingenuity seem to grow a bit taller with each telling. He has a gruff exterior and a very strong opinion when it comes to what he feels is right or wrong, but he often wrestles between going with his head, logic, and his gut, instinct, sometimes leaving his heart out by mistake. One thing is for sure, Smokey always wants to do right by his friends.
Did you know that?
Smokey's garage has been called the best dang garage in town.
Now you know.
Meet River Scott. River Scott came from modest beginnings, but he always made the very best of what he had. With 7 circuit wins from the early 1950s, his unique body style made him a trailblazer in the Piston Cup. He was scrappy and improvisational, and wore his dents proudly as symbols of what he had been through. He was Doc's racing contemporary and friend, and loves to tell tales of the good old days. And meet Sterling. Sterling is a smart and dashing business car who runs one of the largest racing centers in the country. Despite his wealth and influence, he comes across as unassuming and laid back. Sterling often waves off formalities, choosing to be called Sterling over Sir or Mr. Although he's not cutthroat or power-hungry, his decisions will always be driven by what is best for his business. Sterling has invested a lot of money in Lightning McQueen, and he wants to make sure his investment pays off. And those are all the car characters. There were so many, but I'm sure you got to know a lot. Join me next time, and we'll explain characters from a funny film that is based on the book, Chicken Little. Oh, and some characters are left out in this book, but I'll get the old book and add some characters in it. See you then.